Welcome back to HFCTV. Today I'm joined by Steve Burr. Steve's been involved in FA Trophy matches before and has a long history of those, and going to Wembley as well. And that will be where we start things off. Let's bring in the W word, the Wembley word, a word that a lot of the players will be thinking, "Wow, we're going to go and play at Wembley." How do you get rid of those? There'll be game nerves, pre-game nerves, on the pitch nerves. From your perspective, straight off the bat, how do you get rid of them?
Um, well, for me, I mean, obviously looking back at when I went, which was at the old Wembley. I mean, I was fortunate to go twice, and then I actually went in. I went again for another game that was like a veterans Umbro game final. But I think I remember the first time when we went, and I mean, we played Telford. It was in 1989, and we'd never lost to Telford at all. In the league, we beat them every time, home and away. Had that over them. But I remember on the day we just never performed, and we just froze for whatever reason. And is there a certain way of building up for Wembley? Yeah, you prepare and you do your homework, obviously on Hornchurch and all that type of thing, like you would any other game. But I think actually on the day it really boils down to you're not freezing as a team, your players obviously not being too anxious to do well. And I think if I look back, I think I was so keen. I mean, all your family were there and everybody was there. Wherever you lived, there was a bus from the village that went. But I think it was just that it was one of those where we just never got going, and I never got going on the day, and they beat us. And so how do you prepare and say to a player, look, this is what you've got to do to perform on the day? And you've heard the old saying that it is down to the day and how how things go, because anything can happen. And that's why you've seen over the years upsets, different results, strange results, and also results where the favourites have, they've gone on and won comfortably. So, but I mean, the whole occasion is something that will live with you forever. And it's great for our young players and the old ones as well, because sometimes as a senior player, sometimes players think that these things maybe are never going to happen for them. So it's just a great occasion for players, supporters. I know we're still waiting to hear whether supporters can actually go to the game, but it's a great occasion. All we can do, myself and Josh, is prepare the boys in the best way and nail the team down, obviously the week before we get to Wembley, and do all the preparation, which we will do. And then, as they say, once those lads step over the line, it's up to them then to hopefully perform on the day.
Yeah, of course. And the added uncertainty, as you mentioned there, of having fans, not having fans, would it play into for both teams' hands? If there weren't supporters there and they're playing in an empty stadium, does it play into their hands if there are the supporters there on their backs? From your player's perspective, would you prefer to have the empty stadium, or would you prefer people to be there?
Oh no, we need fans to be in the ground without a shadow of a doubt, and the occasion is not just for the players, and obviously the officials of the football club of both teams. It's a day for them to remember all their lives, and you need fans there. People in years to come don't want to look back and go, oh well, I played at Wembley, but there was nobody there to watch me. Yeah. So the fans are so important, and obviously with what's gone on with the pandemic and what have you, we haven't been able to have fans in the ground. But there is talk that there could be fans for this one, and for it to be to let fans in for this one at Wembley. That'll be a real plus for us, without a shadow of a doubt.
Of course. And moving on then towards the training aspect of things, I know you're starting quite early on, getting a lot in. Josh was telling me there's a couple of weeks of a rest training period, and then the busier stuff comes along. Where are the team at the moment?
Well, I think obviously after the Woking game, I think it was important to give the lads a little bit of a breather and a little bit of a rest to recharge, and we did that, and we've been back in since then, and fully back into training, which has been good. The 2 mornings that we do, and just preparing, and obviously playing games amongst ourselves, and just trying to keep obviously that match fitness as well. So, but the preparations have gone well. I think with the gap of the time that we're going to play the final, it can sometimes drag on a lot. A bit like a pre-season where you can't wait to get started, and but it's the lads are in great spirit. We've got a real good group of players who the team spirit amongst the camp is excellent, as good as I've known wherever I've been, and it's just important that they work hard in training like they have done all up to getting to this point, and then we can obviously look forward to the game.
Indeed. Is there any particular aspect of training that you're working on at the moment with them?
I think we just do. We're just doing all the things that we've done, that we did in the build-up to Stamford, and before that when we went to Nantwich and Aldershot and Woking. So all the things are similar. There's obviously things that we'll do where we'll take, I'll take the strikers aside and do a bit of work with them, and the gaffer will work with maybe the defence or the midfield or the whole team as a unit. So it's just really covering everything in the time that we've got to the final.
Yeah, and as you've said, it is a long gap to the 22nd of May, to the point we're sitting here now, and there's still pretty much a whole month to go. So keeping the faith together is going to be the key to it. But in playing these FA Trophy games, if this wasn't around, we'd all be sat here going, when's the next game of football happening? So for the trophy run to go on as long as it has done, that must be fantastic for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. Obviously with the league table and the league getting postponed, because we really felt that we could perhaps kick on in the league this year, especially with the signs that we were seeing from the squad, and hence the trophy run. But it was a real disappointment when the season got postponed, and for us to continue the season by staying in the trophy, that's been absolutely excellent, and for our supporters as well, albeit watching the games on the TV. So it's been good that we've just been able to keep things alive and look forward to something where a lot of clubs, when the season was over, that was it for them in the national. So in the national, the north obviously, and the south, and teams below us. So, but it's been good that we've been able to keep going, and that's been terrific, really, for everybody.
Of course. Has there been a standout game for yourself in the trophy run? We can look back to Stamford and the 2 send-ins, the penalties against Aldershot, the 1-0 win against Wembley. Has any moment stood out to you in the trophy run?
I think they've probably all had a bit of significance when you look back at them. I mean, like you've just mentioned there, Stamford. To go to Stamford, and that was always going to be a tough game for us. It was, I've been there in the past, and it's a difficult place. I know Graham, the manager there, and he's always put a good side together. So, and I think the significance of we were disappointed with the 2 send-ins off on the night, and but to go down to 9 men and actually score with 9 men, it was just fantastic. And then. And to obviously get through that tie, because that was at that point then, we did quite well on a really, really atrocious conditions on the night, but we did really well. But to lose 2 men and go down to, like I say, 9 men and still get through, I think that was a great show of where we'd come as a team, with the character of the team and the boys in the team. Mm-hmm. And then you look obviously the Aldershot one, where. We totally dominated that game, and really should have had the game out of sight. against a strong Aldershot, a proper conference national strong Aldershot side, and for them to equalise, I think it was in the 3rd minute of injury time. I won't forget that moment, because we went back and kicked off and the referee blew his whistle. And I remember looking around to the bench and every one of them was like slumped. Mm-hmm. And it was like,
What was the message from you and Josh at that point to pick them up again? Because as you said, they dominated the match and should have scored a couple more anyway, I feel, in that game. And definitely, then to concede when they did, it was heart in mouth moment against Woking as well, just that last few moments, and Diarra was sticking his leg out. What's the message from you and Josh to get the team from that slump position, as you say, to the shootout?
I mean, it was, looking around and they're all just slumped in, we could see the lads, and I said to the lads, I says, look, let's not show any disappointment with our boys coming over to us now, because we've got to sort the pens out. We've got to be as positive as we can now. Okay, it's a setback, but let's go and win it on penalties. And the penalties were fantastic. They really were top draw penalties on the day. And looking back at that game, in the way that we won, I'm sure on the day we'd have probably taken maybe 1.5, maybe 2,000 supporters there in any normal circumstances. And you look back at those occasions when, if the crowd had been there and the atmosphere at the end, I mean, it was a great atmosphere for the lads, but we couldn't share it with our supporters in the way that you'd want to. So, but I remember Aldershot equalising, and I thought, and everybody did. We thought, is this where we stop? But we picked ourselves up, and we were just, myself, and the one thing with Josh, we are both very positive people, and we like positive people around us. So you're not going to last too long if you're down in the dumps or you're sulking. We hate that, but that reflects on the team as well, because they know that we want positivity. We know that people are going to make mistakes at times, and we know we're going to lose games. But it's obviously about what we do, moving on and moving forward. But and like you say, I mean, the Woking game, we knew that at some point we would come under the cosh, and I think towards the last probably 5 minutes, where Woking had to throw everything at us. And again, it was another game where I felt that we were playing a national side, but we were the better side.
Yeah.
And although chances were very slim on the day, I mean, Joe Butler scored a great goal to get us through, and then how we defended in those last 5-10 minutes was fantastic. But we expected Woking to throw everything at us. It was their chance for them as well to get to Wembley. So we knew how important it was for them, but I think it showed how important it was to us, the way that we defended as a team in those last 10 minutes to get ourselves through.
And the defence has proved all out, especially in the competition. That goal against Aldershot being the only goal conceded, if we minus the penalties, of course.
Yeah.
Which again, Grimesy leading at the back, and that's obviously where the key starts on the pitch. Is the defence.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon's come back into the side, and he's done that well. That he hasn't. I don't think he's been on the losing side since he's been back in the team. So he's took his chance. Paul came in and had a bit of a blip, and we put Brandon back in, and along with Grimesy, and I mean, must say Jared Hodgkinson, the skipper, has been immense this season, absolutely immense. We've had a few changes at left back. Luke Haynes coming in at centre half as well. And I think the good thing is as well is the competition for places has been good, and anybody who's maybe suffered an injury or maybe got suspended, and then somebody else has come in, they've just taken the baton on and done the business for us. So that's been excellent. But I think if you look at defending, you as a team, we worked really hard off the ball. and we've defended as a team rather than to sort of generalise the back four, as to speak. But as a team, we've really worked hard to sort of stop teams scoring against us.
Yeah, and it's been a fantastic season to watch as well, albeit with the league curtailed. Had the league have carried on, would you have seen Hereford at least in the playoff picture?
Well, it's hard to say, but we thought that there was really good signs. And I mean, I think at the time of the league getting postponed, I'm not sure I think we were around about 6 points off it, and probably 6, maybe 7 games in hand of getting into the playoffs. So you never know in football. You never know what's going to happen. But we really felt that we could really push on this season, and it was a difficult start to the season because the uncertainty of what we could do and what we were going to do with the squad and who we could bring in and things like that was difficult. And but once we got settled down with the squad, there was some really good signs. I thought the Brackley performance in the last league game was excellent. And we've had some really good performances and some good individual performances as well from the players.
Yeah, of course. One final question. Training again this afternoon. Who's going to be, who's one of the standout trainers in the team? Who puts in the most effort? Who puts in the least effort? There must be a little tally chart somewhere.
I can't tell you who puts in the least effort, can I? I get hammered by the players. No, I think
is it you and Josh?
Probably, yeah. We just sit there and sit back while they're in the gym and have a coffee. But no, I think players these days they do pride themselves in being fit, and again, probably we always like to think ourselves as fit, but we'd like a few beers afterwards, and I know the lads like to unwind as well, but nowadays the youngsters and the younger players, and particularly the older ones, if you look at the more senior players in the side, like Yared and like Grimesy, they all like to, they still need to keep themselves tip top to show the younger ones that they can keep up with them. So there's all, and you know what it's like in a dressing room. There's always banter flying about with lads and what have you, and who's the fittest and who's got the best body and all this type of thing. So it's I think they do have a lot of self pride in being fit and making sure that come match day they perform.
Well, Steve, I'm sure we'll catch up again in a few weeks' time. But for now, thank you for joining us on HFCTV, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no problem, Matt. Thanks very much.